Growth of smartphones has to a great extent been credited to the need for computing power resized to the most portable and lightest gadget. Innovators are therefore able to find means of emailing, website access, viewing documents, video conferences, and even education, all packaged into a palm-sized computer. Phones now have as much as 1 terabyte of internal storage, accompanied by RAM capacities larger than those in personal computers for heavier CPU and GPU needs. Qualcomm is already forcing everyone with its Snapdragon 865 chip to adopt 5G, as well as supplying chips for the next generation of Apple 5G iPhones. As the processing power in smartphones gradually replaces the heavy need for PCs, smaller but deadlier packages arise. Wearables. Smartwatches, as some wearables are fondly referred to, have become a common sighting strapped on wrists of smartphone users. They are light devices that come complete with their own operating system, coupled with a whole new world of actual and potential capabilities. WatchOS by Apple, for instance, has a dedicated app store that is independent of the iPhone and allows users to install a variety of useful apps. Internet access in these digital gadgets enables them to give users a world of message notifications, GPS navigation, and great functionality synchronization with other paired devices. Almost every smartphone company has an iteration of a smart wearable with touchscreen interfaces equipped with calculators, calendars, memos, playable digital media, and almost everything a modern smartphone could do. Some of them have fully dedicated functions towards health and athletic purposes by tracking heart rates and body activities. The journey to wearables has just begun, but an analysis of this ecosystem of technology shows a battle so subtle and yet greatly significant in determining the computing giants of the future. Perhaps the advent of this so-called smart software can be traced back to 1984, when Microsoft released the first programmable digital watch known as the UC2000. Watches with built-in computer functions in this era had relatively primitive capabilities like the ability to play a few games and perform calculations. The pioneer companies like Seiko, Pulsar, Casio paved the way for current heavyweights like Google, Samsung, and Apple to shrink modern smartphone features into a form factor that users can carry on their wrists. There is no question that the resurgence in development of these wrist companion devices will prompt flooding of the market with a variety of options. Merely counting your steps or receiving a text notification on the wrist will no longer be a motivation to purchase an equally expensive gadget to your phone. What have companies then done to entice users and create a buzz around these tiny wearables? In 2018, Google introduced Wear OS. Previously known as Android Wear since 2014, a version of its Android operating system solely dedicated to smartwatches and other wearables. Companies that produce watches with Wear OS include Motorola and the famous Fossil. Combined with its great hardware and sporting the needed sensors, Wear OS can sample heart activity at any moment of the day on demand by the user. Through applications such as Google Fit, features in the Fit ecosystem like step counting and calorie expenditure are activated and fully integrated with a Google Assistant for voice control. Retailing at around $300, the Fossil Generation 5 smartwatch makes a great use of superior hardware to leverage Wear OS features for impressive navigation and performance. With a 1.3-inch AMOLED display, the Fossil watch sports a gigabyte of RAM and 8 GB of storage on a Qualcomm 3100 chipset that pushes the battery capacity to at least 24 hours of use. There is support from Google now for intelligent notification such as traffic, flights, stocks, and even restaurant bookings. Location-based applications made available by developers now allow check-ins into nearby venues and events in real time. An honorable mention in that Android world is the custom Tizen operating system, which runs Samsung's wearables, TVs, cameras, and even fridges. Sporting the same One UI interface like Samsung Galaxy devices, Tizen has a great mix of customizable watch faces, Samsung Health with health tracking tools, and a future ECG monitoring ability. The Tizen OS was initially set to only pair with Samsung devices, but was later made compatible with Android and other iOS handsets. WatchOS, which powers Apple's smartwatches, elevates the battle between wearables a notch higher. Launched in September of 2019, WatchOS 6 is the newest version of Apple Watch OS. Because of its dedicated app store away from the iPhone, users can now browse for apps or use the Siri voice-based search available in the watches without having to open their iPhones. There is a noise app developed to measure an environment and send notification to the user on whether the surrounding noise is loud enough to damage hearing. There is a trends app that views the long-term user activity such as walking pace and exercise minutes, and additionally provides coaching to reach fitness goals. If you hold 2 fingers on the face of an Apple Watch, it will tell you the time out loud, and if you perform a Siri-based search, the watch pulls up full web page results that are displayed on the wrist. You can send and receive messages if connected to the internet, complete with emojis and stickers in the Messages app. WatchOS's mind-blowing abilities range from ability to stream music in the watch to detecting a hard fall while a user wears the watch. The latter is perhaps its eye-catching functionality. Once you fall, the watch taps you on the wrist, sounds an alarm, and displays an alert. You can choose to contact emergency services or dismiss the alert. If you are immobile for a minute or more, the watch, however, automatically contacts emergency services. As if that were not advanced enough, it will then send a message to listed emergency contacts to inform them that it detected a hard fall and called for emergency services. The latest Apple Watch Series 5 retail price starts at around $400 US. Google's $2.1 billion acquisition of wearable company Fitbit serves to communicate how serious the battle and future of smart wearables has progressed. The acquisition makes sense as we move towards a time when technology is fast-paced and there is a need for less bulky gadgets with superb processing abilities. We are still at the early stages of what the future of wearables looks like, and even as Apple boasts of the lion's share in this market, it is clear that the battle is far from over.